Get out the way. Who got a watch? Who got the time? I'm raising the clock. Even in my feelings, grind don't stop. Got big dreams, want big rocks. I got plans, you got talk. Heard it's real cheap, but it's really gon' cost. I'm tryna get these ends, building empires with my friends. I'm about handling my business. No time for stress over bullshit. You think success is an option? I'm tryna get this shit poppin' like woo. Big moves, my rules. Y'all heavy on the tweeting. I'll disappear a whole season like woo. Who said they looking for me? I'ma make you.
Good morning, DeMarie TV family. So today we're going to be reviewing Ready to Love, Season 9, Episode 8, Exes Meet the Nexes. So Tommy is giving the girls, it's the ladies' week, and they're going to have a directive to introduce their potential love interest to their exes. The idea is that the exes can understand, knowing that they've had a relationship with the women, they will then meet the men, ask them a few questions, and try to vet which one they think is best for their ex. So it starts off with Patrice. Patrice has her ex named Dro. And Dro's interesting. He has tattoos and stuff, but I really like his personality and how direct he is. And she chose to bring in Alonzo, and she brought in William. Now, of course, Alonzo, you know, is a little bit younger, but Dro did mention that he felt like Alonzo would be a lot of fun for her, but Patrice is concerned with Alonzo. She can never tell when he's being serious. And so Alonzo said that that was something that he's going to work on. Dro still felt like Alonzo could be a good match, but he overall felt like William would be a better match for Patrice because he's a man's man. He's a man. And one of the conversations that they had was Dro asked Alonzo and William, what is it about Patrice that you don't like? And William said that he didn't like when she said that she tanned. And Alonzo was like, wait, you got a problem with her doing something she doesn't want to do? And then William explained, I am adopted, and so I didn't like the fact that it felt like she felt like something was wrong with the color of her skin, that she had to change it. And so William understood it a little. William was explaining, and Dro got a chance to understand his perspective. And Dro ended up saying to Patrice he thinks William is a better match for her. Now, throughout this show, I've definitely noticed that since the inception of them meeting, Alonzo and Patrice have been really cool. A lot of laughter, a lot of fun. But William may be up on a slow creep. I don't know. I didn't realize that Patrice and William were like getting along so well and gelling so well, but Patrice may be a good fit for William. But definitely her ex, Dro, thinks William would be the best fit for her. So Tommy meets with Mika because Mika had an issue. She is not friends with either one of her exes. She's only had two, and she doesn't feel comfortable bringing in her children's father or her ex because they are not on speaking terms. And this is a problem I would have, okay? If I was on a show like this, there's no way I would be able to tap in and call an ex and say, come on the show, because I don't deal with none of them. Once you're ex, you're done. I don't have no relationships with you. It's a mess. But that's probably because of the way the relationships ended. Okay, if it ends well and it's a cordial like separation, then I'm sure you can have these types of relationships. But I'm gonna just be perfectly honest. I don't have relationships that ended very well. I only have two. They were long-term relationships, and both of those long-term relationships did not end on a positive note. So I would not be able to go back and do this either. So I thought it was very kind of Tommy to say, I will step in, I will go with you on the dates, I will ask them the questions, because he supported her. It shows that he's not just the host of the show, he really cares about these people that's on the show. So I thought that was pretty cool. So next is Vanessa, and she brought in her ex, and they were meeting at Meddlesome Moth. Now, Meddlesome Moth is a restaurant that I have had the pleasure of patronizing in Dallas. This restaurant is amazing. If you guys ever are in the Dallas area and you want to have a really good brunch, Meddlesome Moth is the place to go. I'm talking about the drinks are amazing, the food, them shrimp and grits, honey. Listen, me and my girlfriends had an amazing time at this restaurant, but that's just a side note. But anyway, this is where they're meeting up for Vanessa's date with her ex. She brought in Chaz and she brought in Dominique. So Dominique immediately, he asked how they met, and Vanessa and her ex said that, Vanessa worked with his mom, and the mom suggested that she should, meet her son, and that's how they began dating. Dominique said that he found it hard to maintain a relationship with exes once you've been sexual, and Vanessa didn't like that, and I loved her ex's response. He said, listen, we were both intellectually and emotionally mature enough to understand why we did not work. And I was like, oh, that is beautiful. Like, I'm still thinking, like, why didn't y'all work? Because he seems like so her speed. But, Vanessa's very, it seems like to me she's very analytical. And she made a clocked a note in her mind when Dominique said that. Because I don't think she liked that. Because in her mind, it suggests to her, are you, projecting what you would be doing if you had a relationship with your ex and we were in this situation? Would it still be something sexual going on with the two of you? Chaz did really well, and he did really well in this meetup. Chaz basically states, listen, I've been working my whole life. My life is set. I've been preparing for this moment. And it's something about a man who's done the work before you ever step on scene that is just amazing to me. He has been preparing himself and his life for his marriage for a very long time. House is set, career set, he is ready to go. And I just think that's amazing. The only thing that I would say is Vanessa has children. She does say she wants a big family, but she already has children, so she's coming in with kids. And there are women on the show who don't have kids, and it might be easier for him to start with them than it would be starting with someone who already has children, and then you're trying to work on a blended family. It's just an additional layer. But Dominique wants 10 kids as well. And Vanessa does say that she's open to having kids. I think Vanessa has two really good options. The only thing that concerns me is that Dominique tends to be a little bit standoffish, and he's not going in as hard as Chaz. And I think persistence is the key. Like, if you really want something, especially a woman, you got to chase her. That's just what it is. We like it. We respond to that. So now, Vanessa's ex did say that he likes Chaz better for her. He thinks that Chaz is a better fit. He's done the work. He's ready to be with her. And he noticed that they do have this physical connection and attraction towards each other. So Chaz gets the vote for Vanessa. Now, the next day is Maya, and she's bringing in her ex, Wes. And immediately when this segment starts, Maya says, I don't know how this is going to go because my potentials are going to be meeting Wes, who's my ex, who still potentially has feelings for me. It's more going on here than what meets the eye. She is very uncomfortable. She seems really nervous. Her ex does not seem like he's thrilled about the fact that he's meeting two guys who are potentially going to be love interests to her. And she decides to bring in Justin and William. I'm shocked I don't see LaRon. I thought her and LaRon had a really good connection. They're very similar in the way that they, live their lives, their jobs, the fact that they both are going out a lot. I don't know. I was just shocked not to see LaRon. So when Justin comes in, he introduces himself to Wes, and he just gets right into it. He's laughing. He's like, so what are some of the things you had to deal with, bruh? And Wes just has this look on his face like he done been through a lot. It's crazy. And Wes says she's spoiled. That's just not good. Like, that's not good. That's not the first thing that you would think an ex would say when someone's asking you about, tell me about Maya. She's spoiled. And then the next thing is that she likes people with money. Like, you better have some money if you're going to deal with her. That is not a good look for Maya. It's not. It just gives off this very shallow perception. And so I'm kind of shocked that her ex does not have anything else to say other than these things. That's weird. So about this time is when William walks in, and so William introduces himself to Wes as well. Now, William has always had an attraction with Maya. They seem to get along well. Only thing about William is he does have 3 kids, and Maya doesn't have any. I just don't know how that will work, or if Maya's the type of person, if she's spoiled and she wants you to spend a lot of money on her, how does that work with a man with 3 kids? And the kids at times his attention will be on the kids and not on her. That just screams drama, but we'll see how that goes. Connection he has with Mika. I think those connections are deeper for him because they weren't based off of that. It was based off of communication and conversation. He did not show up to date Rashina on this episode, so I'm wondering if the calendar just didn't work or if they faded a little bit. I'm interested to see why that didn't happen, because I think him and Rashina are really good together. They can connect. But we'll see what goes on with Maya. Right now, I don't see where her very strong connection is. I just don't see it. Then you had the date with Mika, Justin, and LaRon. Now, I just feel like LaRon's out here floating. He's still on the show, but I believe his first connection is still Koshia. I think he's talking to Koshia behind the scenes, and I think Koshia is still in there. We'll see at the reunion. I could be wrong, but I think him and Koshia will definitely try to pursue something outside of this show because their connection was so strong, and all LaRon wanted to do was isolate her from everybody else so he could have him to himself anyway. Once he did that and she's not on the show and still not communicating with all the other men, I think he would be comfortable with that. So we'll see. I think that LaRon and Mika kind of had an interaction where Mika was saying, listen, me and my ex, this is Tommy comes in and he's meeting and he's asking questions of Justin and LaRon on behalf of Mika's ex because, she didn't bring them. So Tommy's asking the good questions. He's like, tell me what broke up you and your ex. And so Justin was saying they was arguing all the time, and LaRon basically said the same thing. It was just, they was having a lot of disagreements, a lot of, arguments, and neither one of them wanted to deal with that. So Tommy says, well, tell me what this is like if you're, having a problem and you kind of get into it in the morning. What does your day look like? LaRon says, I'm going to try to fill her out. I'm sending a couple texts throughout the day. And Justin says, I'm not going to try to go to work with that on me. I want to try to resolve it because I don't want to spend my whole day like that. I want to make sure I'm good, even if it means I might have to, take off or whatever. And Mika loved that, and I love it. It's like you don't go your whole day fighting and then take it into the next day. It's just draining. It's so draining. And I think at the end of the day, everybody just wants to be with somebody and be content and be peaceful. Now, are you going to have arguments and disagreements? Of course you will. But the point is, it's a way in which to argue and disagree. And I say that as if I've, lived that experience for a very long time. I have not. I had to grow into that. I'm a mature woman. It took years for me to get to a space where I learned how to pick my battles and decide what I want my day to look like. Some things you just let go. When you're younger, you want to fight and you want to bicker about everything. As an adult, I do not feel like going through a bunch of drama. Some arguments and some fights are just not worth it. It's okay to say you're sorry and admit that you've made mistakes. And it's also okay to just let things ride because you just want to have a peaceful day. You don't want the drama. And that comes with age and maturity, but I think once you get there, it's good. Now, Mika makes a point of saying that one of the reasons she broke up with her ex is because he played video games all the time. LaRon's like, what? He's like, I play and make video games. He's like, and if it's the day when a new game come out, I might miss work. She was like, oh no, that is certified deal breaker for LaRon and Mika, but I never saw a love connection between LaRon and Mika. There was nothing romantic about them ever on this show. She was like Koshia's girl. So I don't know how, maybe she's just dating LaRon to keep him around. But basically they gave each other a pound and he's called her his dog. He was like, you my dog. And she pounded him out. But there's no romantic connection between Mika and LaRon at all. With Justin, Justin asked Mika what was her weaknesses. And she said sometimes she can get a little bit wrapped up in her kids and he might get forgotten sometimes. And he said forgotten. He didn't like that. No man would like that. Whether you have kids or not, they're not going to like that. He says he's someone who needs his space too, but he wants to feel special. He wants people, he wants attention. And so that's the balance, you guys. That's the balance that people with children who are dating have to work through. Nobody's going to get 100% of you. It's impossible for that to happen. And so that's the struggle. With Justin, I worry that he says he's okay with dating a woman with kids. He also says he's okay not having children. I do not believe that to be true. I think that this man would do better with someone who does not have children and they start their life together on the same wavelength. I think he likes Mika a lot, and I think Mika likes him. I particularly don't feel like they're a good match for each other. I think Justin would be better matched with someone who does not have kids, and Mika needs an older guy, stronger personality, who has his own life and doesn't need so much attention from her. That's what I think. And he doesn't want kids. I think that would be a good fit for Mika. But we'll see. You know, she likes Justin a lot. The chemistry is there. You know, they're making the googly eyes at each other and feeling each other. You can tell the attraction is there. But I'm not sure once you blend the worlds that this will work. And finally, you have Rashina. Rashina went on a date with her ex, her baby's father, and they have a great relationship. They used to be married. They've been divorced for like 10 years now. And she brought Chaz to meet her ex, and they had a really good conversation. Chaz he felt like it's a lot about Rashina he did not know, but Rashina's very straightforward. And in speaking with Rashina's ex and Chaz, of course, the ex can tell that Chaz is very together. He has his stuff together. There was an issue that the ex asked Rashina, you know, kind of what's going on? What don't you like about him? And what Chaz says he liked about Rashina is that they can go a few days without talking, and then when they talk, they're right back where they left off. The ex asked Chaz what he liked about Rashina, and his response was, you know, we can go a few days without talking, but when we don't talk, when we get back together, it's like we're right where we left off. Rashina actually had an opposite feel about that. She was saying, listen, I don't want to go a whole bunch of days without talking to you. I want to talk to you. About day 3, I'm calling the hospitals and checking, and he kind of laughed about it, but he's like, oh, she wants to hear more from me. Like, I need to do better with her. I need to make sure that I'm on the phone calling her more and pursuing it more. The ex also mentioned that he could see he liked how they smiled and bantered with each other, and he could tell there was an attraction and a connection there. The ex really liked Chaz because he said, I don't have to worry about my kids with him. He's a mature man, and I appreciate the fact that you date, you know, good men, and you don't have mess around my children. I thought that was wonderful to hear from a father's perspective about who their baby's mom is interacting with. I know it from a woman's standpoint, that will be a concern for us, and we usually hear more about that side of it versus a concern for men, but I thought that was awesome that he liked the fact that, you know, she was selecting Chaz because he felt comfortable that his kid would be okay around Chaz. So Chaz got another vote. Chaz is doing very well. He's doing good. Now, on a side note, Alonzo heard Patrice when she said that he's not serious all the time, and she wants him to be more serious. So he decides to take her out on a date. Now, Alonzo rented out a museum, shut the museum down for only her. This is an amazing date. I want a museum shut down for me. So my husband, I'm gonna have to be like, listen, what's going on here? I've been with you for 17 years. You ain't shut down no museum for me? This is ridiculous. But anyway, I thought this was an amazing date. It was him showing her that he knows how to be intentional. He knows how to take time to let her know he's thinking of her. I thought this was such a beautiful day. Patrice loved the date. They go inside the museum. They're at the table. They're having dinner. And then as they're leaving the museum, after this amazing date, he gets down on one knee, and it looks like he's going to propose to her, but then he's like, girl, I was just tying my shoe. So then he brought back up the funny side of him. So this is really a way for him to show romantically he's into her, he wants her, he's really going out of his way to pursue her. I don't know what that means. We're going to have to see what happens with Patrice, Alonzo, and William. I think she should go with Alonzo. I know the husband said go with William. I get it, but I think Alonzo will be the better bet. But Patrice has older children. Patrice is an older woman. Alonzo doesn't have any kids. She says she's willing to have more kids, but that will be hard on her body. She's 42. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know. So now in conclusion, the ladies are coming back to the lounge, and they have to discuss what happened this week and what went well and what didn't. So everyone was recapping their dates, and then they're going around discussing like who they have had connections with and who they haven't. And it turns out that Alonso has had the least amount of connections in Dominique. And so Alonso's going to be taken out by Vanessa and Dominique's going to be taken out by Maya. And it turns out that they decide to vote out Dominique. And for me, this kind of shows the personality matters. I feel like Dominique is an introvert. I feel like that he is not as extroverted as the other men. He's not as fun as the other men. And so it's going to be very difficult for him to find somebody to be with because he just doesn't pursue the same. I think he's a good guy. I think that he would make a really good match for some people. I just think that his match is not here with these women because he's not that type of pursuer. I wonder if he would do well with Alexis, who was voted off, and I know she's a lot younger than him, but she just seems like she could move at his pace and be okay with it. He was really upset to go. He felt like it hurt when they kicked him off because he thought he was doing better than it turns out he was doing. And that can't be, easy. So that's what we got for this week. Dominique is out. Next week, they're going to go and do the staycation where they go and stay somewhere all together. And that's kind of when they usually narrow it all the way down. I'm surprised to see some of the faces that are still here. What do y'all think? Drop me some comments, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And next week should be pretty exciting because you know how it gets when they all got to live in the house together. That means they're pitted in a home with all of their options, and that's usually explosive. So I look forward to the next episode, and I will talk to you guys soon.
Get out the way. Who got a watch? Who got the time? I'm raising the clock. Even if my feelings grind don't stop. Got big dreams.